We came across a story about a young woman and the person who thought he understood her better than she understood herself. 2 Halloween parties, a caring boyfriend, and the slow realization that being seen isn't the same as being known. When does caring become controlling? Here's what happened. He sat me down and told me I had a drinking problem. I actually laughed. I'd gone to 2 parties that weekend, 2. It was Halloween. I got invited by friends I actually wanted to see, and I went. But he was serious, completely serious. He told me I was drinking to cope, that I was stressed because of uni, that this was a pattern he'd noticed. I told him not to worry, that it wasn't like that at all. That's when he said it. People who have a problem tend to not accept they have a problem. What are you even supposed to say to that? It wasn't the first time he'd done this, not even close. A few weeks earlier, I'd mentioned my sister's birthday was coming up. We're estranged, but it's not this huge emotional thing for me. It just is. He looked at me with this sad, knowing expression. Told me he knew this must be the hardest time of year for me. I never said that, not once. But the way he said it, like it was fact. Like he knew my feelings better than I did. It made me feel worse, honestly. Made me start questioning things I'd never questioned before. And that's the part that got under my skin. I have sleep paralysis sometimes. It's unpleasant, but I've dealt with it for years. He told me it was a symptom of PTSD. Insisted I see the campus counselor. I went. Twice. Because he seemed so certain. After an argument we had, he told me something that really stuck with me. He said if I ignored him, it would hurt. But he'd understand, because he'd know I was doing it to protect myself. I stared at him. I never said that, never even thought it. If I ignored him, which I didn't, because that felt childish, it would be because I was annoyed with him in that moment, not to protect myself. But he'd already decided what my actions meant, before I'd even taken them. This is where it started feeling bigger than just us. Every action I took was being reduced to something else. A trauma response, a coping mechanism, a symptom. Like nothing about me was truly me. One afternoon, I ran into his friend outside the library. Really sweet guy. He cycled past, shouted my name, waved with this huge smile. It was such a small thing, but it made my day. I told my boyfriend about it later. How lovely his friend was. How it warmed me that he went out of his way to say hi like that. My boyfriend nodded. Then he said, yeah, he thinks his friend tries so hard to be liked because his dad left when he was very young. That it was very hard for him. I just sat there. This wasn't even about me. And he was still doing it. Analyzing. Diagnosing. Reducing a kind gesture to childhood wounds. I started wondering if this was how he saw everyone. Or just the people he loved. And whether that made it better or worse. By yesterday, I had enough. We were talking, and he started in again. Another observation about what I was really feeling. What was really going on beneath the surface. I stopped him. Told him I didn't want him psychoanalyzing me anymore. He looked hurt. Told me he just cares. That he's trying to help. That he sees things I might not see. And now he's upset with me. In a bad mood. Barely talking. Part of me wondered if I was being unfair. Maybe he does see something I don't. Maybe I'm in denial about things I should be facing. But then I remembered what it felt like. To laugh about a fun weekend and be told I have a drinking problem. To mention my sister and be told how I must be feeling. To have my hypothetical future actions already interpreted before I'd even decided what to do. It wasn't that he cared. It was that he cared more about his version of me than the actual me standing in front of him. The version in his head made sense, fit together, had clear cause and effect. But I'm not a case study. I'm a person. Who went to 2 parties because they sounded fun? Who has sleep paralysis but doesn't think about it much? Whose sister's birthday is just a date on a calendar? Maybe those things do mean something deeper. Maybe they don't. But I need to be the one who gets to decide that, not him. I told him to stop. He said I was shutting him out. Maybe I was. Or maybe I was just asking to be trusted, to know my own mind, to be seen as I am, not as he thinks I must be. He's still upset, and I'm still questioning if I was too harsh. But I also know this. I can't be in a relationship where every conversation feels like a therapy session I didn't sign up for, where being understood means being reduced. I don't know what happens next, if he'll hear me, if this is something we can work through. But I know I needed to say it, even if it hurt him to hear it, because I was starting to lose myself in his analysis of me, and I need to find my way back. Relationships are built on seeing each other clearly. But sometimes care can become a cage when someone decides they know you better than you know yourself. Was she right to ask him to stop? Or was she pushing away someone who genuinely cared? Thanks for listening, and tell us your thoughts in the comment section.